For over 2 decades, Lionel Messi hasn't just played football. He hasn't just dominated his opponents. He has systematically, deliberately, and beautifully solved the entire sport. When people talk about the greatest of all time, the debate usually turns into an absolute shouting match. People start throwing out names from different eras, screaming about physical attributes, or talking about how the game used to be tougher back in the day. But when you strip away the nostalgia, when you brush aside the social media noise, and you look at the raw, undeniable reality of what this man has achieved, the debate doesn't just stop, it evaporates. Let me break this down for you step by step. We aren't just talking about a great player who had a couple of legendary seasons. We are talking about a footballing deity who established a 20-year dictatorship at the absolute peak of Western European football. To truly comprehend why Lionel Messi is, without a single shred of doubt, the greatest footballer to ever walk the earth, we have to look at the 20 undeniable pillars of his greatness. First of all, let's talk about the ultimate individual benchmark of footballing excellence, the Ballon d'Or. Think about this for a second. For a normal, world-class professional footballer, winning just one single Ballon d'Or is a life-defining, career-crowning achievement. It means that for 365 days, you were the undisputed king of the world. Legends like Zinedine Zidane, Ronaldinho, and Kaká won it once. Modern icons like Karim Benzema and Luka Modric won it once. Lionel Messi has won it 8 times. 8. That is not just a statistic, it is a mathematical anomaly. Winning 8 Ballons d'Or means you didn't just have a legendary peak, it means you dominated the sport across 3 different decades. He won his first in 2009, and he won his 8th in 2023. The sheer longevity required to remain the best player on planet Earth for nearly 15 years straight is something we have never seen before, and honestly, we will probably never see it again. But wait, it gets even crazier when you look at the absolute peak of that dominance. This brings us to the second reason, the mythical year of 2012. If you showed someone the statistics from Messi's 2012 calendar year in a video game, they would tell you the game was glitched. They would tell you it's completely unrealistic. In those 12 months, Messi scored 91 official goals for club and country. 91. Think about the gravity of that number. There are world-class strikers playing in the Premier League right now who would be praised to the heavens if they scored 91 goals over 3 or 4 full seasons. Messi did it in a single calendar year. He broke the previous record of 85 goals, set by the legendary German striker Gerd Müller back in 1972, a record that football historians genuinely believed would stand until the end of time. Messi didn't just break it, he shattered it into a million pieces while playing as a playmaker, not an out-and-out center forward. And that leads us directly into the third pillar of his undisputed status, his unprecedented dual identity on the pitch. You see, the football world has always separated its masters into 2 distinct categories. On one side, you have the lethal, cold-blooded goal scorers, the goal machines like Cristiano Ronaldo, Pelé, Gerd Müller, or Erling Haaland. On the other side, you have the artistic, visionary playmakers, the orchestrators who pull the strings, direct the tempo, and feed the strikers, like Diego Maradona, Johan Cruyff, Xavi, or Zinedine Zidane. Here is the mind-blowing truth about Lionel Messi. He is simultaneously the greatest goal scorer and the greatest playmaker in the history of the sport. He doesn't just score the goals, he creates them from nothing. He holds the official world record for the most assists in football history, with well over 350. If you took away all of his 800-plus goals, he would still be considered an all-time legend based purely on his vision, passing, and creativity. He is 2 historic players trapped inside one body. Fourth, let's look at the sheer weight of his trophy cabinet. Football is a team sport, and at the end of the day, greatness is measured by silver. Messi has won over 40 team trophies throughout his career, making him one of the most decorated human beings to ever play the game. We are talking about 10 La Liga titles with Barcelona, 2 Ligue 1 titles with Paris Saint-Germain, 4 UEFA Champions League trophies, and an absolute mountain of domestic cups. Every single competition he has ever entered, he has won. He transformed Barcelona from a club that historically trailed behind Real Madrid into a global powerhouse that completely terrified every team in Europe for a decade. Winning is hard, but sustaining a culture of winning where anything less than a treble feels like a failure, that is the standard Messi set. Now, for the longest time, the critics thought they had found the ultimate weapon to destroy his legacy. This is our 5th point, the international redemption arc. For years, the narrative was always the same. But what has he done for Argentina? He can do it on a rainy night in Spain surrounded by Xavi and Iniesta, but he can't do it for his country. The pressure on his shoulders in Argentina wasn't just heavy, it was toxic. After losing the 2014 World Cup final in extra time, and then losing back-to-back Copa America finals on penalties, the heartbreak was so devastating that Messi actually retired from international football in 2016. He was broken. The entire country blamed him. But true greatness doesn't run away from the fire. It walks right through it. The comeback was nothing short of a Hollywood movie script. In 2021, at 34 years old, he leads Argentina into the Maracanã Stadium and beats Brazil to win the Copa America, breaking a 28-year trophy drought for his nation. He was the top scorer, the top assist provider, and the player of the tournament. The monkey was off his back. The curse was broken. But he wasn't done. That brings us to reason number 6, the ultimate crowning glory at the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. At 35 years old, an age where most legendary footballers are either playing in retirement leagues or working as TV pundits, Messi put together the most dominant individual World Cup campaign in modern history. He didn't just coast along while a younger generation did the heavy lifting. He carried the entire nation of Argentina on his back. He scored in the group stage. He scored in the round of 16 against Australia. He delivered an impossible, no-look assist against the Netherlands in the quarterfinal and scored his penalty. He completely dismantled Josko Gvardiol, the best young defender at the tournament, to assist in the semifinal against Croatia. And then, in the final against France, the greatest football match ever played, he scored twice. When the game went to a penalty shootout, he stepped up first, cold as ice, and rolled it into the net. He won the World Cup. He won the Golden Ball as the tournament's best player. In that exact moment, on December 18, 2022, Lionel Messi officially completed football. The debate was dead. 7th, let's talk about the eye test. Statistics are beautiful, but football is an art form, and nobody paints a canvas like Messi. His dribbling style is the most efficient, devastating thing the sport has ever seen. Think about how other legendary dribblers play. Ronaldinho used step-overs, elasticos, and flash. Neymar uses showboating tricks. Cristiano Ronaldo used raw power and step-overs. Messi doesn't do any of that. He doesn't need to. His dribbling is based entirely on pure, raw intelligence, a low center of gravity, and an immaculate understanding of human biomechanics. The ball stays exactly 2 inches away from his left foot on every single touch, as if it's attached by an invisible piece of string. He uses a simple drop of the shoulder, a subtle body feint, or a sudden change of pace. He waits for the defender to commit their weight to one foot, and the split second they do, he glides past them in the opposite direction. He doesn't bypass defenders with speed, he bypasses them with timing. It is the art of making the world's most expensive, highly trained elite athletes look like they are running on ice. This leads us to the 8th reason, his legendary, unmatchable tactical intelligence. As Messi aged, his body naturally lost that explosive, raw pace he had in his early 20s. For 99% of players, losing your speed means the beginning of the end. For Messi, it just meant he had to activate his brain. If you watch Messi closely during the first 5 to 10 minutes of any football match, he looks lazy. He literally walks around the pitch. He doesn't chase the ball, he doesn't press, but he isn't resting, he's scouting. He is analyzing the opponent's defensive structure. He is measuring the distance between the center backs. He is looking at which fullback tends to push up too high. He finds the exact coordinate on the pitch where the opponent is vulnerable, and the moment his teammates win the ball, he teleports into that space and destroys the defense with a single touch. He grew from a terrifying winger into a flawless central playmaker, showing an evolutionary adaptability that no other player has ever matched. 9th, we have to talk about his masterclass in free kicks. To be the greatest of all time, you cannot have weaknesses in your offensive arsenal. Early in his career, Messi wasn't a free kick specialist. Ronaldinho and Deco were taking them at Barcelona. But Messi practiced, studied the body language of goalkeepers, and completely mastered the craft. He has scored over 65 direct free kicks in his career. Think about how insane that is. For most teams, a free kick outside the box is a decent crossing opportunity. For Messi, a free kick 25 yards out is basically a penalty. He can curl it over the wall into the top corner. He can smash it hard low underneath the jumping wall, or he can chip it delicately past the keeper's outstretched arms. He turns set pieces into pure art. The 10th reason is the level of competition he faced. You will often hear older generations say that Pelé or Maradona faced much tougher, more brutal defending. But let's be totally honest here. Modern football is played at a tactical and physical pace that would make past eras look like slow motion. The sports science, the defensive drilling, the tactical pressing systems engineered by managers like Jose Mourinho, Diego Simeone, and Sir Alex Ferguson were specifically designed to suffocate creative geniuses. Messi didn't just play against random defenders. He spent a decade going face-to-face with legendary defensive units. He dismantled Sir Alex Ferguson's great Manchester United teams in 2 different Champions League finals in 2009 and 2011. He went up against peak Real Madrid teams featuring Sergio Ramos, Pepe, and Fabio Coentrão, defenders who were literally instructed to kick him off the park, and he consistently destroyed them. He succeeded in an era where spaces are smaller, athletes are faster, and tactical analysis is done on computers down to the millimeter. 11th, consider the absolute peak consistency of his European Golden Shoe dominance. The European Golden Shoe is awarded to the top goal scorer across all domestic leagues in Europe. It filters out the weak leagues and measures who the most lethal marksman on the continent truly is. Messi has won it 6 times. No other player in history has reached that level of sustained domestic goal-scoring supremacy. He won it by scoring 46 goals, 50 goals, and 43 goals in different league seasons. Think about scoring 50 league goals in a single season of La Liga. That means you are averaging nearly 1.5 goals every single week for 9 straight months against elite professional teams. It is a level of production that defies logic. 12th is his undisputed supremacy in the biggest match in club football, El Clásico. When Barcelona plays Real Madrid, the entire world stops to watch. It is the most intense, high-pressure, politically charged rivalry in sports history. The players who perform in El Clásico are remembered forever. Messi isn't just a participant in El Clásico history. He owns it. He is the all-time top scorer in El Clásico history with 26 goals. He scored his very first hat trick against Real Madrid when he was just 19 years old, announcing himself to the world. He scored a legendary solo goal in the Champions League semifinal at the Santiago Bernabeu, walking through the entire Madrid midfield and defense. He celebrated his 500th Barcelona goal by scoring a last-minute winner at the Bernabeu and holding his shirt up to the hostile crowd. When the lights were the brightest, when the hatred was the deepest, Messi always showed up. 13th is his revolutionary partnership in the false 9 role under Pep Guardiola. Before Messi, the number 9 position belonged to big, strong, physical target men who occupied the center backs. But in 2009, before a massive match against Real Madrid, Guardiola called Messi into his office at night and showed him a video. He showed him the massive space between Madrid's midfield and their central defenders. Guardiola told Messi, "You're going to start on the wing, but the moment the game begins, I want you to drop into that empty space. Let the defenders figure out whether they should follow you or stay back." Messi played the role to perfection. He completely revolutionized modern football tactics. Managers around the world spent the next 10 years trying to replicate the false 9 system, but they all failed because they didn't have a player who possessed the vision of a midfielder and the finishing of a predator. Messi changed how the game is taught in academies across the globe. 14th is the sheer efficiency of his metrics. If you dive into advanced football analytics, expected goals, successful progressive passes, completed dribbles inside the final third, shot-creating actions, Messi doesn't just top the charts, he breaks the graphs. Football analysts often have to remove Messi from their datasets just to make the graphs look normal for the other players, because his data points sit so far outside the human cluster. He converts chances that have a 5% probability of going in. He completes passes that advanced AI tracking models deem mathematically impossible. He is a walking, breathing statistical supercomputer. 15th, let's look at the incredible lack of ego and his ultimate status as a teammate. You see, many of the greatest players in history were notorious egomaniacs. They demanded the team serve them. They threw tantrums if a teammate didn't pass them the ball. They demanded to take every penalty, every free kick, and get all the headlines. Messi was different. Despite being the undisputed king, he happily shared the spotlight. Look at the famous MSN trident with Luis Suarez and Neymar. They scored hundreds of goals together and formed the most terrifying trio in football history because Messi willingly moved back out to the right wing to allow Luis Suarez to play as the central striker. He consistently gave away penalties to Neymar and Suarez when they were going through goal droughts to lift their confidence. He didn't care about personal glory, he cared about the team winning. He elevated every single player around him, making average players look great and great players look historic. 16th is his remarkable, almost miraculous physical resilience. In modern football, players get absolutely battered. The sheer intensity of the schedule, playing 60 matches a year for club and country, takes a massive toll on the human body. Think about the careers of other geniuses. Marco van Basten was forced to retire early due to ankle injuries. Brazilian Ronaldo had his knees completely destroyed. Ronaldinho lost his physical edge by his late 20s. Messi, despite being targeted by every single defender on earth, managed to avoid catastrophic long-term injuries for 2 decades. He took the hits, he got knocked to the ground, and he stood right back up. His availability was a superpower in itself. He was always there when his team needed him. 17th is his flawless discipline on the pitch. Think about the pressure he faced. Every single weekend, defenders would deliberately step on his toes, pull his hair, pinch his waist, and slide into his ankles with studs showing, trying to provoke him into getting a red card. Yet, over his entire 20-year career at Barcelona, spanning hundreds of high-stakes matches, Messi was sent off exactly 0 times in a Barcelona shirt. He never reacted with violence. He never threw a punch. He never stomped on an opponent. His ultimate revenge wasn't a physical strike. It was putting the ball in the back of the net and looking the defender in the eyes while the stadium celebrated. He maintained perfect emotional composure on the field of play. 18th is his incredible status as a big game player. Critics love to talk about players who pad their stats against weak teams in the domestic league, but Messi's resume in finals is completely unmatched. He has played in over 40 finals for club and country, and he has registered over 30 goals and 15 assists in those finals. He scored a towering header against Manchester United in the 2009 Champions League final, leaping over Rio Ferdinand despite being one of the shortest players on the pitch. He scored a chest goal against Estudiantes in the Club World Cup final. He scored a breathtaking solo goal against Athletic Bilbao in the Copa del Rey final. When a trophy was on the line, Messi didn't disappear. He amplified his genius. 19th is the global cultural impact he has had on the sport. Messi didn't just capture the hearts of Barcelona or Argentina fans. He captured the imagination of the entire planet. He became a universal symbol of footballing perfection. When he moved to Inter Miami in the United States, he sparked a footballing revolution in a country that historically ignored the sport. Hollywood celebrities, billionaires, and elite athletes from the NBA and NFL packed stadiums just to watch him warm up. He brought an entire nation to its knees during the 2022 World Cup, with millions of neutral fans across Asia, Africa, and North America actively cheering for Argentina simply because they felt the sport of football owed Lionel Messi a World Cup trophy. That is an unprecedented level of global reverence. And finally, the 20th reason, the most profound reason of all. He gave us 20 years of pure, unadulterated joy without a single off-field blemish. In an era where modern superstars are constantly involved in toxic media drama, financial scandals, or dressing room mutinies, Messi remained a quiet, humble, family-oriented man who simply loved the ball. He never forgot the kid from Rosario who needed growth hormone injections just to survive. He didn't look for fame. Fame chased him. He stayed dedicated to his craft, loyal to his family, and deeply respectful of the game. Bro, think about it for a second. We have seen athletic freaks of nature like Cristiano Ronaldo who push the absolute physical boundaries of what a human being can do through hard work and athleticism. We saw the raw, rebellious, poetic passion of Diego Maradona. We saw the majestic elegance of Pele. But Lionel Messi? Lionel Messi took all of those elements, refined them, perfected them, and sustained them for 20 straight years without ever dropping his level. He didn't just play the game better than anyone else. He defined what the game should look like at its absolute highest, most beautiful potential. And the crazy part is, even as the curtain begins to fall on his legendary career, every single time his left foot touches the ball, the world still holds its breath, knowing we will never, ever see anything like him again.